Hey, Amy.
Hi, hello. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, Joseph. I saw you were on earlier. I'm not too bad. You?
Pretty good. We survived.
We survived. We survived. How's everybody doing today? We're a little early today.
Hey, Nadine.
Hello.
Nadine's in Canada with you, Marlyn.
Oh, is she? Well,
yes, she's west, though, 3 hours west of you.
Okay, we're under a pile of snow today. It's an official snow day here in Montreal.
Ooh.
So today we're a bit early today. I was supposed to have a dentist appointment, and my appointment got canceled.
Yay! Now, if they were handing out $1 million checks, I would be disappointed for you. But missing the dentist, not that big a compromise, right?
Exactly. Hello, Maxine. Hello.
Hey,
hello,
Maxine.
hello.
Hey,
So
say hello as you're coming on. We like to say hi to all of you.
yes, we like to say hello. Hello, Julie in
Michigan.
Snow Day in Michigan as well. Yes.
I was so worried last week, remember? And I did so well. It kept it would snow a little bit and then it would rain, so it would melt it. And then we'd get a little freezing rain and then it would melt it. But we have friends, don't we, right? In other areas of the US, Marlyn, they're getting hammered. And they're not places that normally get snow. Hey, June. Hey, Madge.
Well, that's where I feel bad is for people. But I mean,
yes.
Hello from Ben Tassef. Ben Tassef. Hello. Hello.
Ellie, Julie.
Hello. Kathy.
Jeremy. We threw Jeremy's whole day off.
Oh, oops, sorry. Well, it was this or canceled, so we thought we'd do this. So we apologize for kind of throwing you guys off.
Yes.
4 hours. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, Sherry. Hi, Maria. John.
For those of you that aren't used to getting snow, that are getting snow, I guess it's fun in a way. I mean, in a little way, you know, like it's unusual. It makes things a little, for the kids especially, I think it's fun. Right?
Yes. And, you know, I actually like snow. I just, having a bakery, I was very concerned about how all of these people were going to get here for their prepaid orders. That's what I was so worried about.
Yeah, you had your big Valentine's Day rush, eh?
Yes. So I actually worked, you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but, you know, when you like your customers, you do what you got to do. So we actually, we had people calling and they wanted to come a day early for things. Right. We had it scheduled over 4 days. So everything was being made fresh every morning. But we had people calling and messaging that they wanted to come early because they knew it was going to be bad on Saturday. So I worked 2.5 days straight through, just worked. I literally took a nap at my desk for like an hour one night, 2 hours the next night, because I needed to get them in and out of here quickly. But, you know, you do what you got to do when you know the ice is coming. Snow
and especially now with the conditions the way that they are, consumers are not shopping like they normally do.
Right.
And so if you can manage to get them to want to buy, you need to kind of be ready for them, right?
That's right. So people around here, where I live, we don't mind driving in snow. No big deal. We're kind of used to it. Everybody has people that can come and get things for them and have the proper vehicles. But ice storms, no one does ice well.
No, I don't think, like, we're also quite equipped, and same thing. Ice is, I mean, it's quite treacherous.
The different beast, right? But
we're talking about snow, but Amy and I today are going to be a little bit more positive. We're doing spring. We're doing spring. We've put the winter behind us, and today's spring, right?
Yes. We're going to bring you something super cheerful today because, you know, Easter is early this year. It's the first week in April. So we've got to get you guys ready to go.
Sherry, I don't know if you're having problems seeing us. Maybe go to Facebook. If you're having issues on YouTube, we're on Facebook as well. So if at
Oh.
any point you miss a part or you just stumble in on the live, you can rewatch it. They're saved
Yeah.
on our pages to rewatch at your leisure, as well as the previous lives from weeks gone by. And so since last week I went first, Amy, do you want to go first?
I am prepared to do that. My husband is forgetting that I'm on live with you, and he's blowing up my phone. So I'm going to tell him I'm on live and to come see you, because I'm sure that's what's happening right now. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you guys, after last week, I did the cookies to show you how to keep things moving fast to get a lot of volume out. And then I had some requests after that. Some people knew I was going to do a 3D Easter basket. I had told a few ladies that's what I was going to do for today. And they said, well, can you do some stuff for the store? Some things we can do in our home businesses that we can do fast and do a lot of. Can you hear me okay, Marlyn?
Yeah.
Okay. So I switched. I'll do a fancy basket for you guys next week or the week after, something that would be more just like you would just do a few of them. But today we're going to do something.
I'm going to pause you, Amy. So can everyone hear? We just need to, because we're hearing from a few people can't hear. So who can't you hear? You can't hear Amy. You can't hear Marlyn. Who can't you hear? Both of us?
Rebecca says she can hear now. It just popped up.
Okay, so maybe there was a lag because there is a storm going on. So we apologize if there is hearing or sound issues. So you can proceed, I think, Amy. Crisis averted.
All right. Well,
she can hear us both. So
I'm going to see if I can swap this camera.
So we apologize. We're all good. Didn't want Amy going on in her explanation and then miss half the story. Thank you, Jeremy.
Well, I think that what I'm going to do today is something that it's not necessarily new, but you can put a twist on it and make it new if you want to. So I decided to do a little Franken cookieing today. Is that an actual verb now? We can make it a verb.
Right? I think it really is. I mean, you can't get a better explanation for the process, right?
So, and also I'm going to sketch today with a black marker, but do not do this at home or in your bakeries, okay? I'm going to sketch with black so you can see it on camera. These are both edible ink markers, but I would recommend using yellow so it disappears because I'm going to be using a lot of white and pastel colors on this cookie, okay? So what I did is I took a gnome cookie cutter. I'm going to just show you the basic outline for the gnome. So imagine the ears are not here, right? It was just this gnome cutter. I punched that out, and then right over where I punched out my gnome cutter, I immediately went and took a rabbit cutter and punched out the ears. So I automatically had that curve where the ears would match up to the cookie because I went right over my outline from where I punched out the gnome, okay? So we're going to make a gnome with bunny ears today.
Super cute. I've seen some on Pinterest, clip art.
Sweet, right? And yeah, they're actually fast. Once you get them down, you won't even need to sketch every cookie. But I want to put some little pink in his ears right here. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to split him right here where there's a natural break in the cookie. So I'm going to have the hat, his little gnome hat, come down to about here. And in honor of Marlyn, because you know we love candy and stuff on our cookies, I made sure also for Jeremy that I had jelly beans today. So this little bunny's getting a jelly bean nose. This is the beard right here, and we're going to fill that in. But you guys, we've been doing those really cool wafer paper projects, and you have a couple of the punches now. So I took an oval punch and punched out an actual oval. And then I went back with the fancy punch that we used for Valentine's Day to make that 3D box, to make that really pretty lace edge. So I took my oval, split it in half, and then put it into the punch so they would be lined up perfectly, and made these beautiful Easter eggs. So we're going to drop the Easter egg into our icing.
I'm seeing gorgeous flower petals there too, Amy.
Wouldn't this be great to put? I played with it. I have to confess, when I got it really wet, I played with this to do a rolled rose with this. Yeah. And if you cut off this part, it is very pretty. If you work when the paper's wet with that paper potion, so cool.
What brand is your marker?
They are, I know they're really worn off, right? But they are Chef Master. And I really like these, you guys, because they have this on one end, the nice point, and then you've got this like, look how old one is, Marlyn. It's got the what would you call that? A brush end on the other?
Yeah, I guess you'd say, yeah.
So I thought we'd combine that technique that we did where we did the embossing by using our wafer paper on our mitten a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you might see a little bit of icing. We're going to try this out together because I didn't try it yet, but we'll be putting the beard down and then putting our egg on. And we're going to see if we can get some of the beard to come up through those little lace eyelets and see what that looks like. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
And then put the little handle in there. So I thought we would pull this together and use a lot of the things that we've been doing the last few weeks, just so that you guys are not buying things and then not getting good use out of them. And this is just another punch that I had. See the edge on that one? So we're going to try it 2 ways. So let's get started on this guy. You guys ready?
I think they're ready. Usually those punches, if you're intrigued by them, they're quite pricey, but usually they're open. They allow it for the 50% Michael's coupon there.
Yes.
And you can pick one up like half off and try it. They're quite nice, those punches.
Now, you guys, you could make this a super fancy cookie, and you could start doing each of these things in sections if you're doing a whole bunch of the cookies. I did this cookie where you would get a lot of bang for the design, but you could just keep going. You wouldn't have to wait for things to set up between sections. But you certainly could break this down and make, if you're just making, a dozen or 2 dozen for family or friends, you certainly could get even more dimension on this cookie by letting it dry in between each of the things you're going to do. But I'm going to show you a little trick I learned last year with bunny ears. I used to only do bunny ears if I could separate the pink from the white, so you had that nice dimension. But I found this really cool trick that I wanted to show you. I do actually occasionally use a scribe because I know I'm always saying, oh, don't pick up the scribe because that's time, that's money. You can't go as fast. Really, I tell you guys that all the time because I want you to learn how to do your icing properly. If you really put the time and investment into doing your icing, it's going to pay off so big for you. So big. I think a lot of people just keep going when it's not right, and it really makes a big hassle. So we're just doing a basic outline here. And then I'm flooding in. I'm using the tip of my bag kind of as my scribe as I go along. And I'm putting in my white. Now, normally I would let that dry, or I used to be obsessed with letting this dry, but let me show you this cool trick. I'm going to put this itty bitty pink, this very, very light pink. I'm going to put this in, and I'm just going to fill over to the edges. It's going to act like a wet on wet technique. And you see, I'm not even having to shake the cookie yet, and the icing's coming together. This is going to be one of those times where I do something that I say I don't do often, but I want you to see how cool it is. So just a quick shake on the table. You don't even have to pick it up. Try to remember, you guys, when you do Franken cookies, they're going to be a little weaker, right? Because it's not that solid piece of dough. They will bake together, but they could be weaker. And now we've just introduced a liquid to it as well, right? So I'm going to give this a little jot here. Just make sure we've got a level surface. And then you know how Easter bunnies, Marlyn's going to show you something amazing in a little bit, but you know how, you'll see what I'm talking about. You know how they just have that beautiful fur and they've got all those little just soft places you want to touch. If you just want to cuddle them, right? So you just take your scribe, pull some of the white into the pink, just clean the tip, little paper towel. You want to pull some of that white over into the pink like this, so that you've got the little hairs. It basically makes it look like those fuzzy little hairs are over his ear. But be careful that if you're picking up a lot of pink, like this scribe, probably not the best one to use for this because it's got a little hook on the end. So I'm going to switch to something that's a little finer point, because what you want to do is create a little feather look, right? You see what that's doing? Kind of making it look like I've got a little hair over the pink, and then that way I don't have to wait for it to crust. Little shake, and that's going to settle down. So let me show you what that looks like. You see?
It breaks the line. It's not so sharp.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then it's just a way to get around waiting But some people really like that dimension, so that's good too. But it's just a quick way to do it. And I'm going to do this one fast because we're already starting to set up. But it's a quick way to do it to get a different look on your cookie. And you can make this as intricate as you want to. Obviously, you could sit here and fiddle with this for forever. But you see, this side's already settled down in just that little bit that we did, right? You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another great trick too for doing gnomes, for doing the beards. Now this one was starting to crust just a little, so I am just going to do a little up and down motion here to get these to settle out. I don't want any points over here. I like the feather look. I don't want a bunch of points. And give it a little curl too, because you know bunny hair goes every which way. So give that a little shake there. Now let's do his hat. So I'm going to let them pick, Marlyn. You guys pick which color. Exclude the white from this, right? Because we're going to be doing a white beard. But would you like to go with pink, yellow, a tangerine, or a lilac?
So they get a little bit of a delay, Amy. Eh? So we're going to have to wait for them to answer. So you guys get to pick the color.
What's your vote?
You're going to see on the cookie there. She's going to accent it in the color of your choice. I get a vote of purple here.
Okay. And you like purple, don't you? Don't you like the lavender, Marlyn?
Well, I think that it'll contrast very nice with some yellow, a pink, a yellow, another purple, another lilac. So I think.
All right, we're going purple.
It is more the lilac purple, yes.
So I tell you what, somebody wanted yellow though, so we'll pull out that little yellow flower.
Oh, that's cute. That'll be cute.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's a nice accent. And I think we'll go with a pink jelly bean. So I'll get everybody, but we're going to go with purple for our bow, okay? So on my hat, you guys, I thought how cool. Last week there was a cookie that I did not get to do for you in the St. Patrick's Day set. I ran out of time. I did put it in the picture, but I really I liked the design of it. So we're going to come back with a darker shade of that same pink that I used for the ears. It's a neon pink. And I'm going to come back with a darker shade of it. I'm going to outline. I'm making wavy lines. I'm doing that on purpose.
So your bits there is fondant, gum paste? What
actually, I used, because it's winter time, I used modeling chocolate to make all those pieces. If it was summer, I would have to do them in fondant around here because they would melt. If people went to the park with cookies with modeling chocolate in the summertime, they would do it in the summer.
And yes, you use a mold.
Yes, I'll show you the mold. I think I showed you this mold last week, but I have them right here. It came from Wish. So we are doing this mold. It's just this really cute bow mold. You can see it's about a 2-inch bow. I like the oversized. My flowers all came from this. It also came from actually AliExpress. I think these came from. Okay, so we've got both of those. If we can work it in, we're going to try to fit a cute little mushroom for you too. I made a mushroom.
They're kind of big.
Yes, I made a baby one, though. I was glad you picked the colors. I think this might work. Wouldn't he be cute? Because I think this would be great to do like a fairy set, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes.
So before I talk too much, let me come back and add these colors. So I want to just do a little design on my gnome hat using a very basic and fast wet on wet technique. I just want to add a little detail. It adds a lot to the cookie, and you can see it takes about 20 seconds. My icing is just right for this. I can't stress enough that you have to absolutely get your icing just right so that this goes fast. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to come back, and because we want to tie our color palette together, we're going to add just a little bit of white. Now, I like this striped look, but I played with this the other day. This would be beautiful if you wanted to go back and do some like S designs and mesh these colors together. But I actually wanted a design that stood out like this. So I'm going to leave mine like this. Okay. And my little bow, while this is wet, I just drop this on. Can you guys see that? I'm going to lift it up.
So cute.
Isn't that sweet? And so you've got our feathery ears. We've got this cool bow. We've got a nice design and contrasting colors on the hat. Now let's come back and go ahead and do his beard. So I made just a little bit thicker icing. This is more like a toothpaste consistency. And I am really I want to do a really messy beard. I like messy gnome beards. And we're also going to be adding that egg, remember? So look at this jumble. This is this, and I made smaller bags today too, you guys, because I didn't want to have the bag up in the camera. Last week I was actually using bags that I was using in the store to, to do my cookies and stuff. But girls got to do what you got to do when it's Valentine's week.
Exactly.
Just keep it moving. So see, I like this messy beard. I don't want something. Let me tell you what I used to do, because I really liked it, and I do really like how it looks, but it was not good for bagging cookies. I used to make really curly beards, but when you do that curl like you do for pumpkin vine, if your icing's not just right, or you're going to be putting a bunch of these in the same box, that vine's going to break off and be all messy in the bottom of the bag. So this was a workaround that I found eventually that kind of did it for me without, having a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is toothpaste consistency. I don't want to encourage it to settle down. Let me lift it up so you can just see. If you want it to settle down, this is where you got to jump in right away and start working with it, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my jelly bean for the nose. Because don't you just look at a jelly bean and read Easter? Like, doesn't this really just make a lot of sense to you?
Well, it's very size appropriate as well, right?
Yeah, and this cookie too, if you made a second.
Your camera's not focused on the.
Let me pull it down. Is that better? Do I need to get a little lower maybe?
Right.
Sometimes it does this. We'll see if it'll come back into focus for us. Let me see if that wraps back up. All right. So we're going to go with the egg on this. Okay. So I think, you guys, what do you think, Marlyn? You want to go yellow for the egg?
Well, I kind of like the pink one myself.
You do? This one? Yeah. You like that one better than this one, right? I think you said you like that.
Your focus just came back, so you're good.
Good. Okay, good. Do you like this one with more cutouts, or do you like the lacy?
I like that's my favorite. The one with the little, yeah.
Perfect. We're going to drop this one on. We're going to drop it on here because remember, we're going to make our little gnome look like he's holding the egg. So I'm just going to gently, remember that embossing technique that we did where we just gently let it start to absorb some of the water, and then we went back and pushed our edges a little lower. And look, you guys, it's working.
So this is the wafer paper.
The
paper punch.
Yes. And this is the same paper punch that I put the link up for a couple weeks ago for that 3D heart box. This is the same punch. And then I just added an oval to get the outer shape, but you certainly could cut that oval by hand. You don't actually have to have a punch. I left this up. Can you guys see where this is curling, where I haven't started pushing it down yet? That's what happens with the wafer paper, which is why it's so important you're ready to start working with it, because you need every one of those edges to attach. If you've ever done edible images or printed on wafer paper and then attached it to a cookie and you didn't know this was going to happen, you'll put all these images down, walk away, and then what happens is the outer edge curls upward and the middle sinks. So you have to be right there with it while it's wet to work with it.
So this has been airbrushed, right, Amy?
I did airbrush this because I wanted the contrast, because I knew I wanted to do a white beard. But look how cute he is for like your feature cookie. You could also take this cookie and you could Franken cookie in a little plaque down here at the bottom and make this your personalized Easter cookie with the kids' names on it. That was super popular last year. So if you wanted to, if you knew you wanted to spend a little bit more time on these, you could definitely do that as well. All right, so I think that's good. I'm going to leave it just like that. Then I'm going to come back with my pink while this is all still wet. And I'm just going to put two little hands right here, like he's holding his egg, okay? Now, in the store, I do have a little, what is it? A Sasori dehydrator. Is that the way you say it? I hope I said it right.
I'll trust you.
But it's
Nope.
great because it blows air from the back. So it just blows across the top of the cookies. I could have made these little hands ahead of time as royal icing transfers, but because I'm doing it right on the cookie, I definitely am going to pop this in the dehydrator so that I don't get any cratering. You like this little guy?
Super cute.
And the kids are going to love that you have that candy on there. That chocolate.
Well, Rebecca's asking if you could bring the cookie up to the camera like you did
Sure.
for your things, just to see I think they want to see maybe the lacy part.
Let's lift that. How's that? You see where the airbrush ink exploded all over me? But see how great that is, because using those edge punches, that's going to, what happens when you try to use an edge punch on this to get that design, it breaks the item in half, whatever it is you're punching. It's going to punch from one side fully to the other. But when you're doing eggs, it gives you that beautiful, almost embroidered look in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So can you see that? And then see his little bow? So he's cute and you're done. Now, if you want a little more dimension, the only other thing that I normally do is I come back and add just a little bit more so that my last level is the beard. I just want to fully see that beard, and I kind of wanted it to come over the egg a little.
What are you doing with that yellow flower?
I was going to put it on, but I think it would be too much.
Oh, okay.
Do you see a place it would go well?
No.
I think it would. I pulled it just to see because it was the smallest flower, but I think it would just be a little much with having the beard.
Now it looks to Amy like he's eating the egg.
That's good. Have his little beard over top. Now,
wafer paper, no problem. It's
it melts. It's like the kids love having paper on their cookies. They love it. So let me show you a blank one and just give you an idea in case you do this at home. Okay. What I was thinking next was that I'd do this same little guy minus the egg, and he would just have the little mushroom. And I've got two sizes you could put on there. You could just make that either way. The other thing is you can turn this and make this. I wanted to show you this because you can get 2 cookies for 1 out of your Peeps cookies. I'm not going to have time to ice one for you. But what I normally do on these cookies is I put down a border, and then I use the little nonpareil beads. Can you see those?
Mm-hmm.
I outline it. I immediately flood in white, drop in 2 quick eyeballs, just little tiny PME black balls so they won't bleed for the eyes. Like, you know how the Peeps have those itty bitty black spots? So I put that in, and that makes the front of my bunny. Then I take another bunny and I flip him backwards. I do that same outline, only on the back cookie. I come a full circle right here, right? A full circle of that outline, and then you can drop on one of these cute little fuzzy tails. So you can put a 2-piece package together with the back and the front of the same bunny and coordinate it super fast.
Is that a sanding sugar tail?
Yes, and I did do those as royal icing transfers. I made you a couple to look at. This one is actually made with nonpareils, or how do you say it? I'd say it your way because I like it when you say it.
Nonpareil.
Yes, I love that. It's so fancy, right? I love it. And this one is just white sanding sugar that has a little mica. And I made them as royal icing transfers because I wanted to hit them with diamond dust. So let me lift it up. These are great cookies. I'm going to tell you something great that I found. This is the normal size that everybody had out last year. It's probably about 5 inches tall. It was a little big for some of the kids. But in Michael's, now, everybody's cutting back. But in Michael's yesterday, I found a 3-piece set.
Oh, so, a little nesting set.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the whole family.
Same size bunny. You can do a dad, a mom. You can make this a box set, or you can just come down to this size. You're using about 1/3 of the icing, 1/3 of the sprinkles. This is an appropriate size for in the store. And you could do 2-piece sets in the bag and package them. You could literally make a front and make a back, and you could package them in the bag like this, right? They're the same size. So you can have it in there like that, but when they take it out, they've got 2 separate cookies, and it looks adorable. Just a little bit of ribbon on the top or a gift tag, and so cute, I think. So there's your super quick ideas. You can also use these if you're getting into the wafer paper and punches as much as I am. This is a perfect size, this big 5-inch. is a perfect size to add eggs to your Easter bunnies. See?
Yes, that's a good size.
Yeah, all of these are super quick, easy cookies. You can turn them in to make them even fancier. All the pieces that are on here, these are all things you can do ahead of time, so you can really get moving.
And I think they sell gummy Easter eggs.
Yes, they do. They have, I saw them and they taste so good. They have pink, purple, yellow, and like a light green, and they're beautiful Easter colors. But great, you can make all this ahead of time. You could have even used jelly beans for the hands if you got the Starburst bag of jelly beans. Do you have that, the Starburst brand? You can use jelly beans for the hand, but this is the perfect time if you are a new cookier. This is the perfect time to just dive in there and start making some cookies. Easter cookies are very forgiving, and the kids love candy on them, so you can scratch a lot of itches with these Easter cookies. Yes, you can hit a lot of boxes.
Yes, and if I can mention too, Easter, the color palette, forget that it's Easter, the color palette of the candy that's produced during the Easter holiday is very universal in design. Like if you are doing painted cookies and you purchase the Easter M&Ms, well, they're the perfect color to paint, to then add them as your paints on your painted cookies. They're great. The yellow is so pretty, that softer yellow for flower middles. It's just more of a universal palette, the Easter collections that they have.
You know, the other great thing that I like about this time of year is, because you guys know I like to batch things, and I like to, I don't want to run out in the middle of something that starts selling really well. So I'll take the next few weeks and I'll be making tons of these different flowers. I'll just make up a whole bunch of these things, all kinds of different colors. There isn't anything on here that can't go straight to Mother's Day.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Right? So everything, if you think in those terms, I always plan, I try to plan both when I'm purchasing supplies and planning color palettes. I look at 3 holidays, the one before, the one I'm in, and the one after. And I try to just keep moving through those so that I'm using things up. But look at this, you guys.
So efficient.
Look at this little baker, these oven mitts. Wouldn't this be so cute on this bunny holding his egg? I can't get this sticking to the cookie. I wish I'd had my camera on earlier when that bottle exploded. We could have put it on the blooper reel. But I have a little, it went everywhere. See this little baker's one with the miniatures?
Oh, very nice. How do you store your molded chocolates?
I keep my store, I have a humidity controlled store, so everything's certain humidity level in here, and I have, I keep it at 70 degrees all year round, no matter what's happening outside at 70 degrees. So mine is just stored in zipper bags, airtight zipper bags, and then in an airtight container, just in case you happen to, you know, have a leak in the bag and you don't realize it. So it's worth spending the money on those good containers when the modeling chocolate is that expensive.
Yeah, Olga, I would think that the white would be susceptible to maybe some leaching, so maybe keep your white stuff separate from the other things.
Do you mean like your the modeling chocolate pieces like this?
I think it doesn't matter, a modeling chocolate or fondant or even a royal icing. Like if you have white ones, to not put them with,
or
you know, just in case.
And I layer. I'm probably more I don't know, more particular about it. I know a lot of people just throw everything right into the same bin, but I layer parchment.
Yeah, it's prudent in that then they don't stick together, and they stay, you know, and nice. They don't break and all these different things.
And look at how cute that little mold that I showed you earlier with the baby flowers, just a couple of leaves with it. But all things you can get on.
Very nice.
They're cute, right? You can get on all of this like right now and have all your fancy pieces made, and then you can crank out these cookies. I mean, this is really something you can make some money with for Easter. Look,
well, they go back to the modeling chocolate in little buckets. I'd imagine
do you want to see the one I have? I'll show you what it looks like, because I go through a good bit of this about 6 months out of the year. I start using it in the fall when it cools off. So
it's a huge bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you, let me hold it up this way because my camera's too low. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. What is that? 20 pounds?
No, I think it's 5.
5 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's quite a bit. Anyway, those buckets are sealed pretty good. pretty airtight.
But I don't go in and out of the bucket all the time. I take some out.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So, and also sometimes I have to use Hot Hands chocolate. Like so see this little airtight container? I go into the bucket and I pull a certain quantity out. I put it in here. I work with this until it's totally gone because I don't want to go in and out of that bucket and expose it over and over again to air. So
smart. That's
just
very
work
smart.
in small quantities.
That's smart. Very good, Amy.
All right. Do you guys like the little bunny?
Super cute.
All right. Well, good. And is it okay if we maybe do the Easter basket next week, or do you guys want to see some more bunnies next week? Or my chicken eggs? Maybe we should do that and get you some.
Why don't you do a little survey on your Instagram? Follow Amy on Instagram and go vote. She's gonna post it on her story. Do a little survey thing.
I'll do that. Can you do that on Instagram, or should I do it on Facebook?
No, you can do it on your story and have them vote.
Let's do that. I'll do that, guys, later. I will figure that out today, and we will let you pick what we do. Within reason. I'm not making crazy cookies.
No.
All right, let me switch my camera back so I can do the controls. Did we miss any questions?
I was running through them pretty good. I don't think that we are. I think we're good. We're good.
I'll watch while you're going. I'm so excited for them to show you that picture.
Well, so here's my my project for today. Those are the cutters. So we're just gonna talk about one thing. So if you look at the cookie there, you can see his feet. And then I just want to show you guys here. Wait a second. Let me just remove the comment there so we can see. And you can see here the bunny and the cat. So bunnies, when we look at bunny feet cookies, most of the time I've seen them with toe beans. And bunnies don't have toe beans, but they do make some awful cute cookies without the toe beans. They're kind of boring. I just wanted to,
isn't this picture so cute? Don't you just want to cuddle that bunny?
so I just wanted to show the actual, like I do try to look at critters before I cookify them.
I love it. It's so pretty.
And so here you can actually see I've got the foot with and without the toe beans. And it's fine, you know, but I mean, it's like just so much cuter with these little pink dots.
So sweet, Marlyn. So sweet.
And I was looking at it. This would probably really work as well as a little duck foot, like the little web foot.
Absolutely.
You know, and you could put that on an Easter egg, let's say. You know, like he only broke through his feet, or you could have like little eyes that like he cracked through his Easter egg. So this cutter here, I'll just show it. So this I purchased at a bulk barn here in Canada. It's a bulk store. This is Sweet Creations. It's going to be tough for you guys to find. It was I think 2 Easters ago.
Now, I got my set just like that last year at Walmart. I'm in the States, but I don't know if it's out yet because my area did not have any Easter things out yesterday. I tried to look so that I could tell you things you could go get right away. But we've had that at our Walmart the last 2 years. It's a great set.
It's really cute. That bunny is really a nice gift size. He's kind of big, but he's a cute gift size, and it was very affordable. Not expensive. Usually when they release those bigger kind of sets, it's affordable.
How do you get your feet out easily? Because I had that question last year. I didn't have any trouble with mine sticking, but what would you recommend? Just something up on the side?
Counter. I just tap on the counter and it will come out.
Okay.
So I think that that's maybe your option because it is not a great, like, I don't know why. Well, it's for the impression, right? That's why they have that plastic, right?
Yeah, Marlyn, this one's for you. You field this question.
Yes, I know. But the jelly bean was a bit big for the size of the head. And so that's why there's no jelly bean on there. So anyway.
And Olga is team toe bean for the bunnies, and they love the bunnies.
It's what's cute, I think. So anyway, so this is the sketch. I do have the details to the project and the eye transfer in the Cookie School group on Patreon and on Facebook if you're interested. So if you follow cutter like designs and stuff, the new stuff that's going to market, there's a lot of these puzzle sets that are available these days. And I've been making this type of stuff for years. I'm not, just so we get this straight, this is not something that I'm swooping in on. I've been doing this for years, sectioning off cookies.
Yes.
And
the
so
Franken cookie, is that your term?
the Franken cookie, no, I didn't coin that one, but I have to say it's pretty darn accurate. It's pretty darn accurate.
So cool.
So you can see here how you can piece this together with your existing cutters. You just have to look for cutters that are size appropriate, right? You don't want to have a super giant head and these tiny feet or whatever. This is a Callie's cutter, the bunny. It's a Sugar Bell. The carrot's a Wilton, and those feet are by the set there that we just showed. And then I purchased, and I highly recommend, a box of, here, let me just grab it, it's right here. It's these sets here for if you're Franken cookieing a lot. Let me just take off the photo here. These mini sets. So this is great if you want to punch a hole out in your cookie.
Is that a Tico? Is that how you say it? Is that the set?
I got it on Amazon. I'm not sure who makes this particular set, but it's just like, let's say you wanted to Franken cookie and make a cat, you could switch out the ears with the triangles. I mean, it's just one of those little extra things that you can come in and easily notch out parts. And so the hand, or the little paw, I should say, I used the little oval here. It's missing. It's over at the dishes, but you see this little set. It just
love it. Marlyn, Olga is asking if you could add edible Easter grass to the carrot for the leaves. And they do make a sour apple. It's a bag and it comes rolled like a little bird's nest. And usually Walmart, Target, Joann's, they have that little basket of edible Easter grass, and it's a sour apple product. I'll grab some, not today. I have some here. I don't want to run back there to get it, but I'll show you next week because I'm going to use it on my 3D Easter basket.
Yeah, I've not seen that product because, yeah, that sounds really cute. So you can either, here I have the two here. I'll just show so you can either bake them together so that they melt together like Amy did before, or you can leave them apart so that when you give it to the lucky recipient, here the carrot actually goes like this, so that they can eat it, you know, like they don't have to break it apart. So it's
so that cookie, the one on the left, is that one baked together, the carrot?
Yes, this one here is baked together, and then I did add a cookie on top. And I find that like this is something I'm just trying, and I find that this kind of ties the two together, having the paw kind of on top.
More security, right? Oh, look.
And then the feet come over like this, you see? And again, you could attach them with the royal icing if you wanted, but, and then I added the paw with a cookie here, the bottom one, but I didn't like it. So on these, I added a dot of this icing. So this is orange, green, and this is taupe. Taupe is probably my favorite gray color. I prefer to using black, light black. I find that the light black just looks a bit, I don't know, it's missing something, looks maybe a little dingy.
You want to take that question?
Is a Franken cookie the puzzle or putting pieces together? Well, I think that it's, you could kind of, Franken cookie is, you're basically taking a bunch of cutters to make a brand new shape.
Right.
Basically. And so Franken cookie, I guess, would be this because it's a brand new shape, you know, like it is a puzzle, but it's, I mean, we understand that you're basically using sorted cutters to do a new thing. So
right. And I think you're showing both ways, right? Because when I think Franken cookie, I think you bake it together as one cookie, or at least when that's what I'm thinking. And the other one, you use the theory behind Franken cookie, but you made it a puzzle cookie.
Exactly. And
you know, people love that.
Well, it's about sharing, right?
Right.
You can easily share, or you don't have to eat the whole thing. If you're making a really big cookie, right, it's just not as practical to eat.
People are really loving having a display piece. They're okay, so they really, let me just tell you from Christmas, maybe this will help. So they really enjoyed the platters. right? They liked having a focal piece on their dessert table.
Uh-huh.
But when they have little kids at Easter, and this is only like 3 years of experience looking at this, but at Easter, they like to have something like this where the kids can each go take a piece. They're not, the platter seems to be more like more big family celebration with adults, but for the kids, they like candy on the cookies. They like that they can pull small pieces and control how much of the cookie they take.
Well, this here now, like this probably could have been a jelly bean. The jelly bellies come in so many colors.
Yes.
I mean, who said the bunny could be any color? So
Yep.
now let's just start with the carrot. I'm going to run through it. So this is a star tip, and this is stiffer icing. I do like a star tip for the carrot's stem.
Love
So
that.
you just start squeezing. So you start squeezing, and the icing's coming out a bit, and then you tuck that under. And then you can continue, and it creates like a little bit of a, like it hides the beginning. It just looks
So pretty.
Polished.
Did you tell them where the carrot cutter was from? Mary Jean's asking. I think you did say.
Yeah, it's a Wilton.
Wilton.
It's existed for several years. There, you know, you might find a slightly different version of it, but they're all pretty much similar.
Jeremy, I'm not sure sharing really happens either. I just know it's a common request. And when I have people that have little kids, like, you know, 4 and younger, they don't want to give them the big 5-inch cookies. But I don't know if that's successful or not ever.
Exactly. So you
Marlyn, that's so pretty. I love the way you do that. I love it when you do your carrot stems like that.
So here, just to show, it's the same thing, but 3 times to make these royal icing transfers. You see, so it's kind of like a knit design. Here, let me zoom in on that. You can see it. It's kind of like the knit pattern. You see,
love
like
it.
Over, and then it's just thick orange icing squeezed on top to make these little royal icing transfer carrots.
And you did mention you made a royal icing transfer sheet, and it's in the cookie school, right?
I did. Yes, okay. It is.
Hey, Mimi.
And now I'm going to grab my pink icing to do the ears. Now there's so many different ways. Here you can see this ear, the icing was painted inside of the ear, and this is icing that's kind of like bumped out. So
love it.
And let me zoom in just for you guys to see the difference.
Are you using your fancy camera again today?
No, this is my other camera. It's the other one. I don't know. It didn't work last live stream on Friday, so I didn't even try today. So that's that. So I'm just going to do the bumped out version right now. So here on this guy.
What size star tip that was? I know you said it was open.
It depends on the cookie, okay? So this is 18, but you want to pick the star tip appropriate to the size of that kind of like notch that you're filling, you know?
Yes.
So I'm just doing a little line here at where the edge of the head would be, and then I'm just basically doing like a long U shape and then filling.
Joseph, we're glad you came to be a part of this today.
There. So I'm just filling that in.
Okay, Jeremy is saying he tries to give the kids normal 3-inch cookies, but his wife, who is a nurse, vetoes and makes him give them a 1-inch cookie. You see what I mean? Yeah, she said if you
somebody has to be the voice of reason.
That's right. I always think I'm doing good when I provide 3-inch cookies, right? Because I want to make 5-inch cookies or 4-inch cookies. So I guess I'm not doing that well. I need to make more minis for you guys.
So you have to be more.
Yeah.
I have a tiny piping tip in because I was working on the whiskers.
Oh.
And of course, now we're live, and I don't have my. Here, we'll do a number 2. My icing is runny, so it'll allow.
Well, if you drop that whole thing of tips right now, we'll just cut that out and use it in the blooper reel.
Well, that's a container full of PME tips. That's probably $100 worth of piping tips, so I'm not going to drop it.
No, you're not going to drop it. Oh, and June says she sugars up the grandkids and then sends them home.
Oh,
I like to do that too when I get to baby.
Grandma.
Right? All the things that you're not supposed to do.
So you could obviously do your bunny any color. I do like a white bunny. And also I like the fact that I don't have to color the icing. But here I was just trying to switch it up.
That taupe that you did, is that any particular brand to get that shade?
Well, it's AmeriColor. They came out with a little box set of grays. It's called the Nifty Shades of Gray, and it has like 6 different shades of gray, and it's a little
they
bit.
came out with mushroom too, right? Aren't they the one that did mushroom?
I don't know about mushroom. If that's a gray, that's a shade of gray.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's going to be great with everybody's fairy sets for springtime. I just can't remember who it's from, but I'm pretty sure it's them.
Well, it just makes the gray like I think it has undertones of brown in it, so that it's just not so drab. It's got a little bit more warmth to it.
But how pretty. That cookie's so pretty, and adults would love that too. And Mary Jean is wondering if you've ever used licorice for whiskers, and I totally suspect that you have.
No, because it's too big on this small cookie. I actually used licorice over Halloween as on a giant like a big body. I did a spider.
Oh, and Maxine is saying that mushroom color is cookie countess.
Oh. So yeah, so it's a bit big, the lace. What's it called? The licorice lace?
Yes, yeah. You can use red vine that I think it's red vine that's in the little tiny strings, and they also have a pull apart twist rope, and they're little. They're like spaghetti size.
I'm forgetting here. I had made eyes, so I'm gonna
look at those. Those are also on the Royal Icing transfer sheet, guys. And Marlyn's Cookie School is super, super affordable. And I'm telling you, there's like 10 years worth of information in there. Tutorials, sheets, how to do stencils. She's just got it loaded for y'all.
So the thing when you make Royal Icing transfers like eyes as opposed to piping on top, well, you can push them a little bit and they look a little bit more inset. Right. And if you're piping on top of that, you see how it makes like a bit of a bevel around the eye, and I find
it's beautiful.
A little bit more natural, I want to say.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the fact that you can do so many of those ahead of time, that way if they crater, you just throw out the cratered one versus coming back to a cookie.
That's a good
and it being on the cookie, it's so much easier.
That's a very good point. And now here, so I just want to mention orange. Like we talk about bleeding with red and with black. Orange is also one of those tricky colors for bleeding. I've had issues with orange. So undercolor, like you don't need it like super orange.
You definitely can oversaturate that one. The one I like the best in that is just a neon orange and then do shades of it.
Yes, very nice.
I know that they have like 20 million different shades of all these colors already mixed for you, but that one has such a natural carrot tone to it. I love it.
And so you don't have to, like, when you've got problematic colors, I like to leave a hairline separation between potential problem zones. And like you can see here, like I'm going to zoom in just to show you.
Yeah, it's such a minor space. You don't really notice it.
And especially since the color of the cookie and everything, and the color's not going to jump. Like you see how now that's a bit of a wide area. You could probably nudge it over a little bit, but if it's not touching, it's not going to bleed. And so if you leave these hairline separations between the area, well, you're avoiding waking up. And if you hate this line, try waking up with your paw being orange. You're going to hate that a whole lot more.
Rebecca loves the eyes. Olga is going to send you some of the Easter grass. And Joseph wants to know how to sign up for your cookie school. So I'm going to tell him that when we get done, you'll put that link up.
Well, I think the link is at the beginning, at the top of on Facebook. So Cookie School is either on Patreon. Here's the link in the. So here's the link for the Patreon and this is the Facebook version.
Yes, it's very affordable. Now, Marlyn, you have to read Jeremy's comment out loud. This is for you.
Where is it? One time, Sugar Belle asked what size cutter people liked. I replied, I like big cutters and cannot lie.
You other bakers can't deny when the cookies come out and cool.
The thing is with a big cookie is that's like where you can really have fun with your, like the small ones are very nice, but it's just not enough like room to get a whole lot of details on, So
Marlyn, you know what song Jeremy's doing, right?
Yeah, I do know that song. I'm of that generation. I'm of that generation.
Oh.
So
And thank you guys so much for coming on early with us today. We were definitely, neither one of us wanted to cancel. So thank you for coming early. We appreciate it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how I lucked out that my dentist appointment got canceled. My son goes to school every other day, and it just so happens today's the day he would have went to school, and he got a snow day. Talk about being lucky, because he had only a 50-50 chance of having a snow day.
Yeah,
And
really, we don't have better odds than that, do we? It's like 50-50. Even if it says 100%, it's still 50-50.
exactly.
No. Oh, this is so pretty. I like it both ways that you did this.
So again, here you can kind of stay away from the carrot.
I think for the store, though, if I was doing this because of packaging, I think I would probably do the Franken cookie and bake those pieces together, and then royal icing on the one paw so that that could go into one bag. And then I'd put those other cookies separately so that I could layer them up in the box.
Yes, well, that's it. The thing is your packaging will kind of determine how you have to do it, right? Like you said in previous lives, right? You start from the packaging and go backwards, right?
Yes, most of the time when I'm planning, when I get down, I have a notebook that I keep like every thought that runs through my head in the middle of the night. And then when I come down to actually sit down at my desk and do the final planning, then yes, I go, okay, I sometimes have eliminated gorgeous cookies that I could do fast, but I eliminate them because packaging was going to be an issue. And I don't want to put all of that time and artwork into something like that and then somebody be disappointed.
So do you flavor your icing? I see the question there.
I do, but I do the same flavor all of the time. I use a cream flavoring, like a cookies and cream flavoring.
Oh, okay.
But I know other people that use cookie nip and other people that use cookie butter. I think it's really important, though, that if you're somebody that likes to experiment, you need to name those cookie flavors something different, or your icing flavors, because you don't want your customers to get that cookie and go, "Ooh, that cookie doesn't taste like it did last time," and they be, of a different team of flavoring.
Okay.
Right? Because they do notice, like, that's one thing when I started doing my stay away from the carrot. When I started doing my classes monthly, I sneak in different cookies on the ladies just to test them, to see if they're actually smelling the cookie and tasting all of them. Like I sneak in raspberry occasionally, I sneak in some lemon, I add things for them because I think that it's nice to have different flavored cookies. And sometimes somebody's having a lemon raspberry wedding and they want everything lemon raspberry, but you have to be prepared to do that.
So I just added a little like jelly bean,
cute.
basically of icing for the nose, and now I'm just adding the little toe beans that we talked about.
Love it. Are they really called that? Is that what they're called, as toe beans?
That's what I've seen, yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean,
Karen, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry you missed the time change, but we will have it up for replay on all of the channels, okay? But thank you for getting here for part of it.
So I'm going to do the other one. And you can see on the foot there, I had outlined the paw so that there would be a little bit of like definition. So that's optional. You can just do like dots of icing,
So pretty.
Every extra little detail takes time, and you can simplify. Things don't have to be like screamed to your audience. You can whisper decorating elements.
This will make you happy, Marlyn. My 6-year-old, Sarah says her 6-year-old is watching with me and says, I love how you make these. Doesn't that just do it for you when the kids are into cookie decorating?
Yes, well, they're the best audience, right? Because most adults see a pretty cookie and they're like, I can't eat it. The kid's like, hand that sucker over to me.
Let me break that baby up. Off-topic question. When doing beading around the edges, what consistency is best?
So you want to have an icing that, depending on the beads that you're doing, you want an icing that's not going to, best description I can think of is like Hershey's Kiss on you, like when you pull that icing and like you do the dot and then you lift off your piping tip, you want a lazy icing that's going to like just flop down. Because if you have to go on top of every dot that you do and tap it on the head, you're going to be going at, it's good.
You're going to pull your hair out.
Yes. So you want an icing that's probably, between 15, 20 seconds. And it might sound like that's flood icing, but the icing dot is so small, it doesn't really have much place to go. So it'll flop down, and that's it. You want an icing that's not going to stay perked up, right?
Right, with that point. And because that'll break off in the bags and it looks messy.
So
and Teresa, yes, you can have replay on every channel. Thank you for making it. We'll be back at our normal time next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, okay?
So here you can see the whiskers. I did them taupe on taupe. I don't like a black like whisker because it's like so harsh,
Yes.
And here I'm just gonna do a little tiny nose.
Oh, I love it. Now, guys, look at how she did that, because a normal smile on a bunny just doesn't really look right. But you see how she did that little split? Just that little bit reads visually like the bunny face looks like.
So here, let me put this one here.
So cute.
Let me do that paw that's on the carrot.
Jeremy is saying that his 4-year-old with the speech delay is watching and saying bunny cookie over and over. And with an increasing degree of urgency.
He needs one now.
So look, we're not just cookie therapy. Today we're helping with speech therapy. That makes me feel really good.
My son didn't speak till he was 3. And so I had taught him sign language so that we could communicate.
That's so funny.
And let me tell you, at 16, there is no more problem. I mean, getting him sometimes to be quiet.
Well, listen, Marlyn, I have to tell you this funny thing, another unknown thing. My grandfather used to say I was vaccinated with a Victrola needle. I guess I was born talking. So I wouldn't have that problem.
So here you can see the set assembled if you do it like the kind of puzzle version. And then here is the actually like baked version. And I guess like you could secure those paws on if in a, just like a dot of icing to kind of like that they're easy to break off.
Right.
But still like, right? Like you could do a little dot of icing under, or you could even bake the feet together so that they don't flop around the 2 feet together.
Oh, that's a good idea too. So they'd be more like one cookie. Sarah has a question here. She was asking about that flood consistency causing the beads to bleed into each other. So
okay, so that what you can do, if that's your case, you can skip a bead. So you imagine the space, and then you go, once you're around the cookie, then you go back in and fill like in between the dots.
Right.
With that way. Or you can work in a thicker icing and do kind of like Amber works in a thicker icing. You can watch one of her videos and she does like a macaroon flick.
Yes.
So you're doing kind of like a flicking of it instead of right up. And so then it tends to like smooth it a little bit more down.
Yep. And it hides that tail too, which is wonderful. Then you can do the whole cookie. And Karen, I would love for you to come see me, but don't come before summertime because we're still curbside only. So we hope to have the inside traffic back open, but I would love to see you out here for a visit. And I'm going to try to get Marlyn here after the pandemic is over. We have some super nice B&Bs, Marlyn. I think you need a trip to the States. Oh, they're going to make bunny cookies. All right, let's see. What's next? And then we have somebody.
So this is the cutters that I use. If for those of you here, let's put that comment back so we can see. So these are the cutters.
Yes.
See the black line there? That's the cut line on the carrot. And so you can either bake them together or you can leave them apart and have like a little bit of a puzzle thing.
Right. And if you watch the video from earlier, the bunny is Sweet Sugar Belle, right?
It is.
And then that foot is from a totally different set that in Canada came from Bulk Barn. In the United States, it was at Walmart. And that carrot was from who?
That's Wilton.
Wilton. Okay. Yeah, I asked you that. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, I love it. This is going to be so great, you guys.
I had my ticket, June. I was going.
Oh.
I actually was, a year ago, I was going to see Han in Pennsylvania, before she left for Spain. And then my flight got canceled because of the corona. I mean, we're going on our 1-year anniversary of the lockdown here in Montreal was the March 13th. When did you guys lock down?
Yeah, about the same date. I just went through my old videos because I was going to splice something together to do a little, well, this is what we thought was happening. And then this is a year later to put something together. But yeah, I remember my husband and I were talking about that last night. A year ago, we were having to go on live every day to tell people what was happening because, you know, that's when they started closing businesses for a couple weeks and things like that. So, you know, it was a day to day. We just had to keep jumping on and informing people, and we didn't really know what was going on. And I looked back at those March videos and I thought, well, we got through that. We'll get through this. We'll just keep going.
That's it. That's it. Here, Sarah, you're asking, I'm in Brossard, which is a suburb of Montreal. It's the first town right off the bridge. So when you cross the Champlain Bridge, the main bridge in Montreal, I'm in the first suburb. So
are you from there?
I was born in Ontario.
Okay.
But as a child, my father couldn't find work. And so I've been in Montreal or Quebec, Montreal area since I was a young girl. I don't remember life other than visiting my grandparents in Ontario. I've grown up my whole life here in Quebec.
Wow.
It's an interesting thing because we're minority English people in Quebec. So it's a very French area, you know?
Right. Well, June, listen, even if we don't all make it to CookieCon at some point, we do need to have a meetup. We're all close enough we can get together up in your area.
Exactly, exactly. My cookie recipes in the cookie school, Erica, you're asking about that.
And the icing. Oh, good. You saw it. Okay.
You share yours?
You know what? It's in a couple of my cookie classes. Yeah, I guess I could put that up though. Yeah.
If you have it in like your group or whatever.
Yeah, we do a monthly group here where I make everything and put the kit together. Like I make the cookies, make the icing, because we had all beginners. They never decorated cookies before ever. So they've really come a long way in a year. I'm super proud of my ladies.
Yes. Oui, je parle français, Claudia. We have no choice. We live in Montreal. You have to speak French, but at home and my brain is English. So she's asking, so I'm going to do it very quickly. I'm going to do it very quickly here. So this template is in the group. The eyes that I use on my character is a small eye, but I'll do the big one here. And I've got, you know, black. I often get questions, how do you get your icing so black? Well, I'm going to say what I said before. You don't have to scream things at people. You can whisper it. It doesn't have to be jet black. It can be charcoal gray.
Yep.
It's not necessary to go to to get it so black, okay?
And you look at it and it reads black, even if it's just a dark gray. You see an eyeball. It's very clear.
I just want to see which one's in frame. Okay, so
Michelle.
So what I'm doing here, this is a bigger one that I would have used, but so I'm just doing the outline here, okay? So I'm going to do 2. So here's the initial color. So what's happening there, I find that quite flat. I don't know if I have the right tip here, but which one is this? I've got a whole bunch of piping bags running.
Maxine, thank you. We're having a great time doing this together. And Marlyn, you're showing them how to do the eyes. So we've got that one. The next one is the cutters. If you just watch a little bit further back in the cutters, all the cutters came from separate places. So you'll need to watch that.
So here I'm coming in now with the white. And you see, because I'm kind of going on top, I'm hiding a portion of that gray or black icing. So it becomes a little bit narrower and isn't so so visible, right?
I love it with that outline, though. I love it. So Laylene is saying we should take the show on the road and bring cookies.
Oh, yes.
We could be the traveling cookiers. So if anyone wants to book us in another country, we will just come and put on a little cookie conference for you. How do you like that idea, Marlyn?
Well, I was thinking we could do a one of those retreats, book a house, and some lucky come in, you know, like one of those houses.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Italy? Where do you want to go? Put it out there. Someone might invite us and take care of it.
So you see now I've come in and filled in the other, and now on top of that, now you can do your reflection dot. So I'm just in the wet icing adding the big dot and then just a little tiny dot right there.
Hey,
and there's your
Michelle.
eye. And so you just want to fiddle a little bit so it sinks into that.
Now, Sue is asking this question, and I'll field it if you want. It's about no bleeding why when you're doing the black and the white. First of all, she probably has a little bit of white dye in her white icing, which kind of blocks the other colors. And she's doing it all at once. So they're going to dry evenly. They're the same consistency icing. And so it tends to not leach color from one color to the other because they're drying at the same rate.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So there's no leaching, right? One is drinking from the other, and it's not just moisture, it's pigment as well. So if you're like, there's many schools of thought, but if we're frank, when it comes to baking, like blogs and all these recipes, you know, people say, "Oh, the recipe didn't work." Well, you're so many other variables are in the thing. Your ingredients are for sure not the same. Your stove is not the same. Your air is not the same. So all these variables impact the final product. So it's not as straightforward as getting a measuring cup and, you know, measuring a cup of flour. There's other things.
You guys, I could be in Virginia. I could have another cookier watching us in Maryland. You guys know you can be from one to the other in a matter of minutes, but the humidity is so much different on the coast of Maryland, being on the water versus being an hour inland in Virginia like I am. Just that one factor could send everything sideways for you, which is why we say again, practice, because you've got to find what works in your area. It's not always a quick fix to just do what we're doing, right?
Well, the thing I was shocked about, I found out at CookieCon, is the elevation makes a difference.
Oh yeah, and how the cookies being hard or soft, and what ingredients you have to put in, and in cakes especially. Yep. Let's see. IG, we're going to Europe. We're going to Spain. All right. You tell Han to set it up. I want to go. I've never met Han.
Yeah, that's it. She's finishing up renovating the house, and then we'll roll in. Anyway, far from planning the any kind of a trip. Any kind of a trip.
We're going to use that, right? I said last year, people kept saying, "Oh, we only have to get through 2 weeks." And I was like, you guys, you have to stop that. You're going to depress people, because what we really need to be doing, we're not in a sprint, we're in a marathon.
That's right.
So we're in an even longer marathon. Now we just have to look for things like cookie therapy to keep us all going and excited about what we're bringing into the communities right now, because people love this. This does make people happy. You pass them one of these cookies and they're like, "Oh, thank you for thinking of me." They really like it.
Well, the comparison that always comes to mind is, if let's say you're going to a party, okay, and you like, no hating on knitting, but let's say you like knitting, you're a knitter. Well, if you show up at the party with a box full of sweaters and you're like, "Hey, this is not a gift. You can just look at the sweater." You think of the sweater. People are going to think you're a little bit weird. But if you show up with a box of cookies and you're handing out the cookies, everybody's like, "Wow." And everybody's calling everybody over and look at the cookies. And then all of a sudden you're the center of everything.
Yes.
It's just, you know.
Well, you're not the person that gets forgotten when the invitation goes out, right?
Well, it's your usual. People are waiting for you, right? They're waiting for you to arrive.
Yes, like bring the goodies, especially if they know your cookies are good.
Exactly. Thank you, Angela. I've had gray hair now for many years. I actually got my first gray hairs when I was in high school, and my son actually has gray hair like I did. He's 16. Wow. And so eventually I just gave up on the dyeing of the hair. It's like so much work, and so I've just given up.
You know, in grade school, there was this young kid. His name was Steven. He was one of the super, super smart kids. And he was a little cutie pie. He had this jet black hair, and he had those really cool gray streaks right here.
Oh, my. Oh,
he was such a cutie. Such a cutie. 4th grade, and he was already super distinguished looking. It's okay to be different.
She's saying, show up with cookies. Yes, that's the solution right there.
Yes.
That's the solution right there. But it's just, I know I brought cookies to parties. Let me tell you, every time, it's always the same reaction. People lose their minds. So
yes, it's great. I think Mary is trying to say that we've caused her to gain 8 pounds in cookie therapy.
Oh, sorry.
So Marlyn, how many cookies do you think you eat a week?
Oh, I don't eat cereal. Like, truthfully, I don't eat cookies. Um, like, the big weakness in my house is probably flat out chocolate. Like,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ryan eats chocolate. Like, I'll go to bake, let's say, banana bread, and my chocolate chips are all gone because he raided the pantry and ate the bag of chocolate chips.
Do you guys have those super big candy bars, those like big Hershey's or Ghirardelli bars, like the really giant size ones?
Not really. What, you know what I buy them? I buy the soup, like the berry chocolate, like the cocoa that I recommend. Well, they
Yes.
sell like the temper, you know, the chocolate that has to be tempered, those
Right.
bars, like 70, 80%. That's
Right.
what I buy, bags of that. And then he just goes in the bag, gets a handful, and that's what he eats.
Yeah. My husband keeps those giant chocolate with almond candy bars in the freezer.
Oh,
Like
he likes them
stacks
hard.
of them. When we went into lockdown, we were like, what do we need to have in the house, right, to be stocked up? So he has all this chocolate. I had to make sure we had chips and I had iced tea. That was it. I was fine. I could survive anything with that.
Michelle agrees with the chocolate.
Yes.
I mean, chocolate is just, I'm always shocked when somebody says, I don't like chocolate. Yes, there you do have to do a little quality control. I do agree. I like cookies without icing.
But Angela, you probably don't eat a whole cookie. You probably do what I do, right? When you're making so many, you make a little side cookie. Every one of my trays, I have a normal size baking tray. Every one of my trays has a little mini circle. And actually, Nadine, I love Cadbury. I don't know if everybody else likes that or not, but I like that dark Cadbury where it's not so sweet, but it's
yes,
creamy.
that's it. Like, that's what Ryan eats, is the dark chocolate. That's what he likes. I actually bought that pink chocolate. Have you seen that? That ruby chocolate?
Yeah. Is it any good?
I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. I would compare it to white chocolate, which I've never been much of a fan of.
Now, I did try something that I really liked, you guys. If you are, I know we're totally off topic here, but you know how you can caramelize white chocolate and then use it for baking in those big cookies I showed you last week.
Oh.
You can caramelize it and then, and the flavor's totally different. And I did really like that. I don't know if it's technically the same thing as what they're now calling blonde chocolate or not, but it's fabulous. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there on how to do that if you want a project as you're snowed in. If you have any white chocolate, you can test that out. Let me know what you think.
Oh, yeah, that's it. If you're snowed in, it's every excuse to eat everything. Yeah. Get your hands on it.
Our last snowstorm birthed the monster cookies. So that's my next project for the store, is to get those developed before Mother's Day.
Yeah. So next week, next Tuesday, Amy, you're going to put your little survey up on your.
Right now, I'm prepared to do I'm prepared to do a 3D Easter basket. But if enough of you would rather have things that you can do fast, then we'll come back and circle back to some things that you can produce fast that look real fancy.
And then I'm on Friday with Han and Sweet Amber on Friday, and I saw the prototype of Han's.
What are you guys?
Friday. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you know what you're going to do on Friday yet? Are you guys on to Easter?
I might just do actually a how to design a cookie, like because I take it for granted that I'm on the computer and I easily put together like the concepts with my templates and stuff. I might do that, or I've got the design ready. I might actually make the cookie. I was thinking of making, you know, like what's in now is like, let's say a number is 3 and then it's written 3 on it.
Right. Yep.
Like, you know, so I was thinking of doing something along those lines, like for birthdays.
I'd love to see that computer part too. At any time you want to do that, even if you don't want to do it right now. I'm going to be delving into the world of iPad. I know it's terrible. You guys are going to blast me, but I don't have an iPad and I've been dying to try that Procreate program. So today I become an iPad owner. Well, if you go, you're probably going to have to buy the pencil. Yeah, I've got the pencil and the covers already with it. My brother-in-law did set that up for me. So today my husband is going to go on a little drive with me. We're going to go pick that up. And hopefully tonight I will be happy in the land of Procreate app.
Yes, it's quite, it takes it to another level.
I can't wait, right? I like to draw and I have tons of sketchbooks. I think it'd be much easier to have it all on the iPad, right?
So yeah, having trouble going contact to cookie. Yeah, I actually bake my cookies, snap a photo with the tablet, and I actually draw on the photo of the cookie.
Do you?
Yeah, I like
And then
that.
that's how you convert it?
Well, I really, because like, let's just look at the picture here. This picture, so that's the drawing after I put the blue background, but that was completely drawn on the cookie. So it's exactly, you know, like I know
Gotcha.
exactly what it's going to look like.
That's fabulous. And I really like the thing that my friend has told me so much about is on that do you have Procreate?
I do.
So you know how you can put a picture in there? You can take a picture of anything. It can be home decor, it can be a photo, whatever. Then you can use the little eyedropper and pick your color scheme.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. That I'm very, very excited about. It's going to allow me to add some really cool things. I'm just letting a secret out here, but it's going to let me add some things to my children's cookie classes, my teacher cookie group, and my adult cookie rookie group. So I'm excited for what that's going to bring to us this year. I keep trying to up my game with them. They keep me on my toes.
That's nice to give yourself personal challenges, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in cookie college all year, right? Because we've been in lockdown. So that is how I invested my time. I hope it's paying off.
That's it. And anyway, it's fun.
Oh, well, we got a lot of votes for design.
We went over.
They don't care. They love us. They're talking with us. They're snowed in, Marlyn. You're giving extra free therapy today.
Well,
but you got a lot of votes for design over there.
For design, oh yeah, maybe I'll do that because, like I say, you know, when you know how to do something, you just take it for granted, and I don't even think about that aspect of it.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And you teach so well. You break everything down into understandable portions, and you don't feel intimidated, especially you guys in that cookie school. When she's doing videos, everything is broken down into segments. So it doesn't matter if you're super advanced or if you're beginner, you're not afraid to tackle the cookie. Like everything's broke. For me, it's super easy to listen to that and then try to apply it. And I don't feel overwhelmed. I try a lot of stuff on there that looks very hard, but the way you break it down, you know, it takes me a couple of rounds on it, but then I'm like,
I try. And if you want to see my teaching style, you can see I do have free videos on YouTube. You can see how I teach.
Right.
The comments tend to be that, Amy, if I can toot my own horn.
Yes.
That I'm a good teacher. So
you're a very good teacher.
I try to make it so that people can actually execute. It's very nice to be like, not everybody can teach something, right? To articulate the process. So that
I think it's important that you can, when you're trying to teach somebody something, because the thing we wanted to do, right? We talked about this when we first started doing the Tuesdays. We just want you guys to dive in and try to make some cookies. Honestly, it doesn't matter if they come out perfect. It matters not at all. What matters is that you found something that you really enjoy doing, because once you start practicing, you're automatically going to get better. You're going to find your own artistic style. You're going to find a way to make cookies look nice. And it's all the things that Marlyn was saying about how people react when you bring cookies. And also, it's going to lead you to start taking cookies to people. And then you become part of so many family events. It's, you know, life is all about the memories that you're building. So, you know, you have a lot when you connect with people like that.
This is, thanks, Sean.
Look at that, 7 or 8 years. You haven't had that school up that long, have you?
Well, I've been on YouTube, so he's probably watching the videos on YouTube.
Hey, where's Byron? I didn't see Byron on today. Do you think he did?
Well, he's thinking we're going to be on at 1 probably.
Maybe you should come back on at 1 or something, or you'll put the thing up, right? The alert to push them back to 1, because I have to go get that iPad.
Yes, well, when they go at 1, they'll see the live is published there, and they can rewatch the replay.
Okay. I was going to volunteer to come on at 1 and say, hey, go watch this video. We're sorry we're not here, but I have to get the iPad.
Yes, and I mean, it's such a fun thing to kind of like, you know, open and start playing with, you know.
Yes, I can't wait. You're the reason this happened.
I'm sorry, I made you spend a lot of money. I gotta say, I apologize. I apologize.
Liz, I'm not even going to tell you because I don't think they would want me to, but let's just say that someone took really good care of me with this, and it was an answer to prayer, and I'm thankful for it. So thankful. So I can't wait.
We need a little spoiling. We need a little spoiling here. Let me just add it one last time. So asking for the cookie school.
Yes.
Where is it?
Yeah,
So
Marlyn, isn't the cookie group? It's like $5 a month, right?
it is. You know, the way that I, in my mind, do the like. I mean, it's more like I'm hoping to be able to reach more people as
Right.
opposed to reaching a few people that can afford it. So
Right.
many people, like at $5, it's like essentially a fancy coffee and a cookie, right?
Cool.
And then, oh, that's my Etsy store. So there's the Patreon and then the Montreal Confections Cookie School. And so that's it. I try to keep it at an affordable price so that people can afford it and actually benefit from it. Because
Right.
classes,
And I am going to have an Easter cookie class that I will have posted that you can take from anywhere. It's not something I'm going to make all the bits for. It's going to be for people that already cookie. And I do not have them finished yet, or I would have had it up today, but I expect I'll have it up by next Tuesday. But I'll just warn you ahead of time, it involves candy and royal icing transfers. So if you need more practice on those things and how to incorporate them, this is for you.
that's it. We can all use practice. Like, I mean, I try to think about it actively when I'm going, like, what can I improve? And it's not always improving, like, so that you're making necessarily better cookies. It's efficiency. It's all other aspects of improving, right? And improving on also being kind to ourselves, because that's one of the things I find people are overcritical of themselves.
Yes.
And
they work too much. They work too much for not enough money. You have to. You got to find your people. If you have a shop or you're baking from your home, you've got to find your people, because you can't be doing this for free.
Yeah. Well,
you lose the joy. Huh?
I said you can, but it's not ideal if it's
You'll kind of lose the joy of it, though. You just, working 18-hour days is not a badge of honor. It's disorganization.
Well, I think what happens with you is that you're doing it for your business, and it's not a hobby. It's the difference between a hobby baker who's like, oh, I'm just happy to cover my ingredients. It's completely.
But you guys really helped me with that, because you have let me balance doing the fancy projects, which I love to do, but they're really more for me. I don't sell that many of them. And then doing the cookies, like what you'd want to produce fast, right? You'd make a lot of.
Yes.
So it's nice. This has been good therapy for me. It's been very good therapy for me.
We all need some therapy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, everyone. We're going to wrap it up. And
Thank you guys.
See you Friday and next Tuesday with Amy.
Friday at 1, and we'll be back at 1 next Tuesday.
Yes, regular time. So we'll see you then.
Chomp, chomp. Bye.
Yeah, let me find my button. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.